So I'm going to walk you through the BACB website. You guys should be fairly familiar with this site already. If you aren't, please know the site like the back of your hands. One important thing right when you go to the BACB, you can see the ethics tab up here. That's a really important tool that will outline any type of ethical question, code related. It will give you resources. This is really important when you're practicing in the field, and I access this myself pretty regularly. Then you see this credentials tab. You can do a short click there just to where you want to, what credential you're looking for, a BCBA. The other really useful part right on this homepage is to verify a certificate. So if you're ever looking for a supervisor, looking for a BCBA provider, you can verify that their credentials are active, and you can also find certificates based on location. So those are some useful areas that I use in practice pretty frequently. If you scroll down, you'll also see those quick links right here. They'll also list any recent news that they're putting up. So you can see a hot topic is the COVID-19 and how people are responding to that situation as essential providers. So we'll go back up to the BCBA tab. So if you go and click there, this will go over pretty much everything you need to know in order to apply for your certification or maintain your certification. So become very, very familiar with this. Eligibility requirements are listed here. This will go into coursework and supervised field work. As you guys know, the PSU program is verified as as aligned with the BACB requirements. So your coursework is all set, good to go. Your supervised field work, you'll want to make sure you're staying on top of, and we'll go into some areas of that. You'll also notice here that there's information for if you're applying before January 1st, 2022 or after. There are significant changes happening if you are applying after January 1st, 2022. It's really important that you guys obtain all of your hours and sit prior to January 1st, 2022. The requirements change significantly. So if you click this arrow down, it will go into the coursework you need and how to get to the point of sitting for the exam and certification. So the really important area for you guys is to go into your supervised experience. So this document here will outline pretty much everything you need to know in terms of your field work and how to document it. The BACB is really, really particular with their documentation. They can do random audits, I believe up to 7 years. So you want to maintain documents, and you want to maintain them for a significant amount of time. So this pamphlet here, I would read through several times to make sure that you're aligned with it. It gives information to supervisors, but also to supervisees as well. It talks about those audits as well too. So this will break down your hours and who can supervise you. Hopefully you guys have already found someone. If you haven't, please reach out. I've been able to network with a couple people and find supervisors for students, so please let me know. It will go into group supervision versus individual, observation requirements, restricted and unrestricted hours. If you aren't familiar with those terms, please get familiar. There's a very set difference on what you can log experience-wise depending on the type of hours. Here's the breakdown for supervised independent fieldwork, 1,500 hours. If you are doing a practicum or intensive practicum, they're less hours. Most of you will be in the supervised independent fieldwork section. It then will go into the type of activities and how you can document it. So it goes into restricted, and that is your direct time with clients, and it can be no more than 50% of your total time. Unrestricted activities have to be at least 50%, but it could be more. And that's really data collection, data analysis, program planning, training staff or caregivers, completing assessments. So this is all of the tasks that sort of a typical BCBA would be implementing, and you're doing these with the guidance of a fieldwork supervisor. They also list unacceptable activities there, so please take note of that. And then documentation. This is the really important area. Documentation is really, really, really essential in terms of ensuring you're completing all your hours and appropriately, but also in case you are audited. They provide some experience forms and trackers. So these are all linked here. There's a monthly experience verification form and then your final verification form. So you will complete monthly forms logging your hours, and then you submit a final verification form when you want to sit for the exam. Also, take note if you have multiple supervisors, there's a different form for that. This goes into the auditing process. You guys can take a look at it, but really I would download this document and print it. It is extremely beneficial to you guys in the field. So that's an area that you'll want. And then the BCBA documents section here. So this goes into how to document everything and gives links for all of that. So once you're ready to sit for the exam, you'll go back onto this website and apply for it. They did change the exam recently, so this is really exciting for you guys. Previously, the exam was only offered, I believe, 3 or 4 times a year. Now it's offered pretty much any time you are able to sit for it. So once you finished your coursework and collected all of your 1,500 hours aligned appropriately with unrestricted and restricted group supervision versus individual supervision, then you can apply to take the exam. And we'll go through other trainings throughout the course on just tips and tricks for studying and useful tools and resources and all of that great stuff. I would highly recommend, if you haven't already, spending a good amount of time on the BACB website. It can be a little bit confusing to navigate, but all the information really is there. And when in doubt, use this contact us button. They will get back to you. Sometimes it takes a little time, but they will get back to you. They're pretty responsive. And then you can always ask me questions, and I would highly suggest being in constant communication with your fieldwork experience supervisors. They should be well versed in all of the nuances within this. It also changes somewhat quickly. They update their documentation systems and requirements frequently. So just being able to go to the website is a really great tool and resource as well.